Hi, everyone. It's Jen with Pretty Little Garden. I hope everyone is safe and warm today. As you can see, we are experiencing some major winter weather here in my Zone 6B Western New York garden. These are just some clips of my husband Doug's snow blowing, and these are just clips I've taken over the past month. You can kind of get an idea of, what our area is looking like this time of year. Beautiful snowfall there. Today is actually January 24th. It's Saturday, and we are bracing for the Arctic blast. In fact, it's kind of already hit our region, just a large mass of cold air that's moved into the area, and it's causing just bitterly cold temperatures with wind chill. And we're supposed to get some snowfall in the next 24 hours. So I'm guessing we might have a snow day on Monday. Can't be too sure, but I think that's where we are headed. So, today I was just going to share with you some clips that I took of my garden back in December. It was actually a couple days after Christmas. I walked around my garden and I never edited or uploaded that video because I ended up getting the flu. So I was kind of down and out for a few days after Christmas and I never revisited that video. So I thought I would take you along and we can just take a look at what's going on in the garden during the month of December. What are we thinking, Lou? We want to go for a walk in the snow? In the icy snow? There's not too much snow on the ground, but it's very slick, right? We had some freezing rain yesterday, so there's a layer of snow, but there is ice. You can hear the ice, so we have to be careful, but you can see all the ice. There's a thick layer on everyone's car, except for mine because I park in the garage. The benefits of being the mom. What do you think, Lucy? Are we ready? Well, here we are, just going to start walking through my garden after my walk with Lucy, and I just really enjoy walking around my garden any time of year, really. Even in the wintertime, even this time of year. And I always like to go usually early in the morning before anybody is really up and outside. Here we're just taking a look at my blue cushion English lavender. That is some Shasta daisy that I winter sowed this past year. And I'm appreciating the evergreen interest of my euonymus. These are called Emerald Gaiety euonymus, and it's sort of like a variegated green and white leaf, and they do have a trailing habit. If you don't keep them trimmed up, they will kind of trail a bit there, so we do keep them clipped up pretty neat and tidy. Let's just take a look in the backyard here. As you can see, I have a couple of evergreens that I never got around to back in the fall. These were a really good deal. I got them as a nursery was having like a liquidation sale and closing nearby. These are they're American Pillar Arborvitaes. I think the variety was called Full Speed Ahead. So they are in the pot, hoping they survive and do well. Here is my generous gardener climbing rose, coming up on 2 years. It'll be planted for 2 years in April. And you can see I do have some old foliage hanging out. I know you're supposed to clear that off, but I never got around to it. And isn't it beautiful, just the main canes that are coming up and over, and they're like encased in ice. It looks like they're encased in glass. It's so beautiful. And this is a Japanese maple. This is the Twombly's Red Sentinel Japanese maple. And just kind of a random leaf there. That's been doing well. it's just nice to take a look around this time of year. Sometimes when everything is kind of dormant, you can see where your garden needs some tweaking, where your garden needs a little bit of work. Maybe you identify a bare spot somewhere. I know I have a lot of bare spots, and each year I try to improve, try to make my garden just a little bit better, really for my own enjoyment. These are golden vicary privets, and we usually prune these down, but we never got to it. So it's a deciduous shrub, and it held on to a lot of its leaves this year. You can see there's some ornamental berries too that come on this time of year. Aren't they pretty? Again, encased in ice, looking so beautiful. And the ice, and just stepping on the ground, it's just so loud on this particular day. There was just so much ice everywhere on this day. It was really beautiful though. And those are my river birch trees. And these are kind of glossed over those pretty quickly. Those were 3 pinkaboo palminaria that I planted I think it was last summer. And I'm excited to see how they will do this year. Hopefully they'll fill out and look beautiful. And isn't that a pretty picture, just with the branches kind of hanging out in front of my shed? I always, appreciate a pretty picture in the garden. This is one of my spireas, Neon Flash. We did not get to pruning a lot of these. We usually are a little bit more on our A game with fall pruning. We like to do a lot of it in the fall versus the spring, but that's okay. These are our endless summer bloomstruck hydrangeas. You can see, look at those icicles on my bird feeder stand. It's just been, a very cold winter, very wintry winter so far in my area. Sometimes you have seasons that are very mild, and that's not been the case this year. We've really been experiencing some cold temperatures and quite a bit of snow. This is where I compiled all of my containers, and they're all plastic, so they are okay to be out in the winter elements. I really do love, concrete and ceramic and just all the different types of pots, that they have. But I think it's hard for me, it would be hard for me to like move all those around. And I guess I could leave some of them out, but I just kind of find that plastic is a little bit easier for me to handle. Anyway, this is the red twig dogwood, ivory halo red twig dogwood, and that, oh gosh, I can't think of the name of that little circular globe. Oh, it's the bowling ball, Mr. Bowling Ball, I think, arborvitae that I had just passed by there. This is the Fat Albert blue spruce. I have a couple of those. Beautiful winter interests. I'm always every year kind of looking at, what I can add that's evergreen, because we do have such a long winter season. It's just really nice to look outside and, notice, evergreen interest. It's just something beautiful to look at. Look at those pine cones. Oh, I love it. I love the pine cones on the Fat Albert blue spruce. They're really beautiful. And this is I believe it's a Miscanthus gracilis grass. kind of looking a little untidy. We had an early snowfall in November. Not that it's early, but it just, kind of plopped down on everything and made this grass over here look kind of unruly. That's a little heirloom rose tucked in there. Yeah, it's kind of reminding me of my hair in the morning. First thing in the morning, I think it looks like my hair. Anyway, I'm just walking around. Got some more ivory halo red twig dogwoods. I did plant a brand new hydrangea here. The three that are already there are the Endless Summer Original, and the name of the hydrangea that I planted is escaping me. I want to say it is the Quickfire Fab, possibly. I'll put it up on the screen if it's different. I am loving how our emerald green arborvitae hedge is looking on this side. It is just so beautiful. And it's going to be, just a nice green privacy wall in the next couple of years. They've grown pretty fast. And just my river birch trees, the beautiful bark of the river birch. That's definitely something of winter interest in my garden. And even the ornamental grasses, the larger ones looked kind of sloppy, but that little one, I like how that looks in the winters, the winter months. I'd much rather see that little poof of, foliage versus, that being cut down to the ground at this time of year. And I really like the colors that I see in this garden bed here. My candy mint crabapple tree, the ornamental crabapples are looking beautiful. And I think we are hitting on just about every color in this garden bed except for blue. And I usually get the blue from the little mouse ears or the blue mouse ears hosta. But that, that's cut back right now because it's dormant. But there's a lot of color going on there. There's the Hicksue, and they have like a red berry during the winter months. And, the candy mint crabapple has the ornamental red crabapples. There's the green of the Hicksue. You have some just bare branch interest, and also the yellow and green of that blondie winter creeper euonymus. This is just a little Christmas tree that we had our boys go out and get themselves, and they put lights on it, and we just had it on our back patio and turned it on at night, and it was really a nice festive thing to look at out of our kitchen window during the holiday season. And I'm just going to walk around to the front, and I'll show you what the south side garden bed is looking like in the front yard here. With our Colorado blue spruce trees, you can see this was right after Christmas, so we still have all of our lights on the trees. And if you recall, this is where I planted the pinky winky hydrangeas. Planted one there. I planted some spirea, a couple of different varieties, and another pinky winky hydrangea on the other side. This bed is slowly improving. We'll see how it looks this coming garden season. And I planted a bunch of tulips right along the walkway here. Looking forward to seeing them bloom this year. I haven't planted tulips in the ground. For the past couple of seasons, I've planted them in containers, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see them emerge from the ground this year. And I just noticed a little garbage. When the wind starts blowing, you start getting garbage that can kind of blow into your garden. Just a little piece of paper there, tangled up in my spirea. And you can see there's a lot of evergreen interest in the front yard. Not much going on my front porch at the moment. I do have my beautiful winter wreath. That's an artificial wreath still up. Just a random little trinket. I think I got that from the Dollar Tree. I don't really put much on these shelves during the winter months because we can get a lot of harsh winds and could start kind of blowing things around. So I just kept it kind of clean and simple up front here. More evergreen interest with my creeping juniper, frozen solid. That started off as the smallest little mound in front of that rock, and it has grown and grown and grown. This is the Golden Globe arborvitae, a very tidy plant, does not need pruning, evergreen interest, has a beautiful kind of golden color to it. This is a flaming carpet sedum, buried in the snow. There's some euonymus back there as well, that's evergreen. I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to walk around my winter garden with me in December. And I really hope you are able to get out into your garden and to do the same, appreciating the evergreens, the winter interest, the beautiful branches, the ornamental berries, the leaves that are encased in ice, the different colors. It's all so very beautiful. And I was so happy to share it with you today. I'll see you soon.